It is the story that no one can stop talking about, the shooting of Trayvon Martin.
A 17-year-old boy, unarmed, gunned down by a neighborhood watch.
This guy looks like he's up to no good, or he's on drugs or something.
This is a tragedy. I can only imagine what these parents are going through. You know, if I had a son, he'd look like Trayvon.
Every time any life is lost, particularly a young life, it's a tragedy. But I'm not going to shy away from the fact that I think that the evidence supported that George Zimmerman did nothing wrong, and it turned out that all of the forensic evidence supports that. None of it supports that George was ever the aggressor, certainly not legally, and I don't believe morally.
We have the one and only Mark O'Mara here. He was gracious enough to give us some time here at a busy conference that we're at. Your way of thinking in terms of running a case, and then separately your way of thinking when it comes to running the business.
You know, it's funny because some of the lawyers go, well, every case I get it ready for trial from day one.
Yep.
And it sounds a little bit pretext, but the reality is if you're looking at a case the way that I look at a case, 95% of all cases resolve themselves before they end up in a courtroom.
Yep.
That's the way it's supposed to be. That's the way the system is self-policing. So if you look at it that way to try and figure out where is solution, right? Where is resolution? And if you look at it that way and look at it from the idea that you may have to try this in front of a jury. And I say it for that reason because if you're trying it from sort of a human resolution perspective, the way 6 or 12 people will look at it, it gives you the right prism to look at how to resolve a case. So now, how do you run a business? First of all, lawyers suck at running a business, right? We were never taught how to run a business. The way that I run a business, the way I've learned is to realize I know very little about it. And I'm not just patting you on the back, to listen to people like you who do run businesses or teach how to run businesses for a living, because most lawyers are really good lawyers and really bad business people.
You talk to tons of lawyers, and a lot of lawyers look up to you for the, I think maybe for the wrong reasons in terms of the PR that you've earned, right? And they look at Mark O'Mara as the master of PR. But what's something that kind of maybe bugs you where people look up to you for that, but maybe you feel like your true expertise is something different than just getting a lot of PR?
It was an unbelievable blessing that I got the Zimmerman case and then did well with it. And now the doing well was 2 years worth of having to deal with crazy media, a lot of emotion, a lot of social issues that presented themselves. So there was a lot to navigate. But let's face it, it was one case. And I was a practicing lawyer for 30 years before that. I've been one for 10 years since. So yeah, there's a part of me that says, okay, it was a great case and I did well with it. You should not make your reputation. You don't have the right to make your reputation on one case. It comes only over time. It comes over decades of doing it right every day. And the idea that you make your reputation over your career, absolutely. You can destroy it with one stupid move. Acting like an ass in front of a judge. Or just not doing what you should do for a client every day. And I'm not kidding when I say this is not work, because I love doing it. You also can't get sloppy. You gotta be good every day.
It's important to stay focused on that greater good. There's so many marketing lawyers. I see social media has leveled the playing field, and unfortunately or fortunately, some of the more skilled lawyers I see embracing social media, but I see a lot more of the unskilled law firm owners and lawyers embracing social media. A consumer doesn't know who to trust. So
not at all.
So how do you see the social media leveling the playing field? Maybe a prospective new client chooses a lawyer because they like them, but not necessarily because they have experience. How do you navigate that?
Well, from a client's perspective, I think it's very difficult. The way people pick lawyers is Google. And Google is not the place that you go just to get quality. You go to get clickbait or whatever it is, right? Let's say in a criminal context. They're in trouble, they've been arrested for something, they're looking for a good lawyer. So if they look at it, the first top 10 people on Google are the ones who know how to do social media. They know how to do digital advertising. But that doesn't mean they're good lawyers. Matter of fact, in my opinion, and maybe this is my selfish way of looking at life, that's the opposite. All you're really doing is getting somebody who's a good digital marketer which again is a talent you have to have as a good business person and therefore a good lawyer.
Yep.
But it doesn't mean that that person is a good lawyer. And for that, I think you do have to look at and rely on experience, years of practice, certifications, what other lawyers say about that lawyer, and what other judges say about that lawyer. In my little universe, the way that digital marketing would be, yes, you can get towards the front of the list because you're good at digital marketing.
Yep.
But you still have to have those criteria.
You've made the conscious choice that you are going to be the best of the best at your craft, almost like an artisan. I see a lot of other lawyers selling lawyers on building a business from their law firm, hiring lawyers, and not being the expert at the law. I'm curious to hear your belief around that. Was that a conscious choice? Did you stumble into the falling in love with the craft?
I think part of that is, and people say, they ask me that question, hey, you thinking about retiring or whatever? Absolutely not. I love this stuff. I really, really love practicing law. Now, practicing law has expanded in its definition to the area of digital marketing, and that now has to be something that you're very good at to be a good lawyer.
Yep.
You know, you have to be a good lawyer. But if you're a good lawyer who is sitting there with a yellow page ad, you're maybe a good lawyer, but you're sitting very quietly in your very empty room, in your very empty office, not doing anything. But my love of practicing law, of teaching other puppy lawyers how to do it, being really good and getting better every day is what I focus on.
Okay.
Now, again, does that mean that I'm not focusing on the growth of the firm, of hiring some of those lawyers to do some of the work that I could do and love doing but don't really need to do?
Yep.
Sure, and quite honestly, that's a struggle that I carry with me every day. It's just a balance between loving what I do, being blessed to have an opportunity to do what I love to do, but still realizing that we have to be a business owner.
So ultimate currency is the emotional state of loving what you do every day. I mean, what better payment could you ever have?
Never. It's not work. I mean, it's a blessing. I could not imagine trying to do this if I didn't love it. No, I love this stuff. Just again, like I said, the idea that this is a blessing. I mean, this is an opportunity. There are a lot of people out there doing a lot more difficult work and not getting anywhere near the compensation that lawyers get. And we also don't get the opportunity, or many people don't get the opportunity to really have what can often be very significant effect on people's lives. I mean, I guess somebody who gets arrested, if I do bad work, if I'm, you know, out drinking or playing golf even, that person goes to jail for a longer period of time. That's significant.
So if you had one message for the legal industry, if you could shake every lawyer, have a loudspeaker go off, and every lawyer in the United States could hear a message from you, what would it be?
So one part of the message is stay balanced. Stay with your loved ones, keep your health up, and be careful that this profession doesn't turn you negative. The other side of that same coin is be as good as you can be with this. You have a great opportunity to help people, because if you do, you will do well, which is always great, but you will also do well for others. And when it's all said and done, we're going to have an opportunity to justify our lives, right, to the next step. Well, you want to be able to make it as easy for you to justify what you've done by working your butt off here.
Yep.
And that's why I do it.
This is the one and only legend, Mark O'Mara. So check out everything he's doing, and we'll see you in the next video. Stay great.
Thanks so much.